Okay, I declare it 6:30. Call the meeting to order. Ken is out tonight, so it's just the two of us here. I have no chairman comments. Are there any public comments now? Anything? Well, it's not on is it on the agenda? Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Let's wait till we get to it then, which will be very quickly. Okay. No public comments. Let's go ahead and talk about Hudson Road now, and then we'll do the other stuff later. So, anybody want to talk? Well, first, let me fill people in. We have discussed this with legal. We are preparing a cease and desist order that will go out to them. They will have 30 days to respond. Hopefully, they will take care of the problem, because if they don't, then we have to go to court. And if you've been following the Marsh case, it will drag on forever. So that's where it is right now. And anybody want to comment? Okay. Okay.
Good evening, folks. My name is Dave Taylor. I, along with many of our other residents on Hudson Road, my wife Linda and I have been on Hudson Road since November of 1977. So we've been here a while, and it's a great road. We know Nick is at the end of the road, and yeah, he has a junkyard. Maybe it's not designated as a junkyard, but it's clearly a mess. We would like to see it get taken care of, as well as a couple other things. Why? First of all, three of us in particular, or actually four, it impacts water. It could impact us water. That's a wet area in the front of 106, which is not his property. I believe it's his sister's property, the old Wall Birdsall home. That water drains down, and then in front of the Faulkners, in front of the McGettigans, into our property, and then next door to Gary and Susan's. The problem is I have a 14-foot dug well that it goes right by. And we're just afraid. We know he's been doing some work in the yard. He doesn't have I don't believe he has a permit. I think he needs a permit to run a business out of there. It's on a dirt driveway. And clearly when the snow melts, there's the potential of issues right there with our road and with the water. So that's our concern. And we really don't want to wait until there's oil in the water to have to deal with it. I know you'd like to have a business, and if he can run a business, and the town and the zoning board and the planning board say he does what he's supposed to do and he gets the right permits, so be it. That's the rules. Let him have it. We know there's logging going on down there. It's been a lot on the road. I know that the road agent can speak to Hudson Road in the wintertime, and mud season is probably one of the worst roads in the town. And we're concerned if there's a business down there, even not logging, that this road can't really handle that kind of traffic, particularly in the winter and mud season. Like I said, he's been logging down there, and I'm assuming he has a permit. Well, then what? Great. Great. Three tandem trucks came out today. So, again, we don't want to cause a problem with Nick. We just want him to go by the rules. That's all. Have the permits that are there. I know in previous meetings that you've talked about cars and so forth being 35 feet off the road. Oh, we'll take care of that. Well, they're still there. There's also been some work. Who owns the property in the circle, the actual, on the first cul-de-sac? Who owns that property?
That's town property.
That's town property. So people are allowed to store stuff?
No.
Oh, really?
You can have it removed.
Please. Not that it really is a big deal. For those that know Walt Birdsall, his brother, Walt, loved that area, did a lot of work on that area. As far as gardening, his ashes are on that area. So again, I guess that's not a cemetery, so be it, but a little consideration for him would be great, as well as work that's done on the cul-de-sac. Nick really doesn't have any room on his driveway to work, so he parks on the cul-de-sac and does it. So we would just like to see that cleaned up. A lot of us have been there. We think a lot of this road. We have a great road. We have a lot of people that look out for each other on this road. And we would just like to continue and have it be that way and be a good neighbor. Anybody else? Did I miss anything?
Values. I'm Denise Johnson. I live past the property in question. So it's a dead end. I see it when I leave, I see it when I come back. And any prospective home purchasers, when we're at that point that we're ready to look into retirement, also have to drive by that. And it's an eyesore. And I think it's really going to impact our ability to sell our home.
Okay, well, as I said earlier, we are fully aware of this. It appears that he does have an unlicensed junkyard that is totally illegal by both town standards and state standards. It's clear that he is putting stuff on property that is not his. So we are pursuing this, but it could take a long time. This is the problem. The select board can't just go in and say, oh, we're getting rid of all this stuff. We don't have authority to do that. It has to go through the courts if he doesn't cooperate. And we can only enforce zoning violations. The water issue, we can't do anything about that, but the state can, DES, and they will get all over this. Right, there has to be oil, and then they'll get all over this.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sunny. I live on Hudson Road, diagonally across from Nick. When we moved in, the prior owner, Vincent, had told us like we couldn't do oil changes or we had to be very careful because we were on a watershed. We took that very seriously. And we try not to do a lot of anything on our property. So I don't know if that is when you're referring to the state, is that what you're saying as far as the
We have no
watershed?
authority over water stuff.
Okay.
It's not in our zoning, and we have no authority over it. The state does.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that is one of the official watersheds or not. It might well be, in which case the state should be a lot more concerned than they appear to be.
Right.
So we'll have to look into that. We are certainly pursuing the junkyard bit. And as I said, a cease and desist order is going to go out. He has 30 days to respond. If he doesn't respond, he gets a much nastier letter. 30 days after that, we file a court case.
Okay. I do have another comment to make. I think you are aware of the wall, the property wall that was
Yes.
damaged on our property.
And that is another illegal act. That is strictly illegal by state law.
Okay. Again, I do want to reiterate that this is not anything personal. I feel that it's the eyesore, it's the illegal junkyard, it's the resale value. I mean, there's a lot that gets factored into this. It's also, many people walk that road. People who aren't even who live on our road walk that road. I mean, the whole area is nice, but there's children in the area with vehicles parked illegally on that circle, the little circle. We had an issue kind of getting onto our property, which we did bring up with Nick, and he was very nice about it. But there's the fire department that won't be able to get down the road in certain cases. There's just so many factors that play into why we are all here tonight, I believe. I also want to say that Nick did say he would fix the wall and he did address it with us, which was very nice. But it's still the fact that what's done is done, and we can't shake hands on anything these days type of. I know that this is not an issue with anyone as far as, I think Jay had spoken to somebody about it, but it's just the fact that like it's the wall, it's the junk, it's his mailbox is right there on our property as well. Like there's no common courtesy to this too. I don't think that makes a big deal, but just so we're all kind of hearing the same thing. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, so the stuff on town property is something I believe we can address. We were just talking to legal last Thursday about this very case. And they said that if it's on town property, we can remove it. So we will look into that. You know, you'd think he'd just cooperate a little bit because this is not going to work out well for him in the long run unless he actually does something. So there are two things we can address: the stuff on town property and the junkyard status. Okay. If he is violating property lines, like putting stuff on your property, that's not a zoning violation. That is, you'd have to get a lawyer and sue him. That's what it comes down to. And in fact, if this gets any worse, you might all consider getting together, getting an attorney, and having that attorney file suits for the stuff we cannot. Okay.
Question. I know we have a zoning rule about 2 unregistered vehicles.
Yes, that's part of the
Okay.
junkyard.
So if one was to go in there and register all the vehicles, even though they're not usable, is that okay?
That unfortunately is okay. If they're registered, they're registered.
Okay. All right.
Now, that would seem to be a pretty silly thing to do, but who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
It's been done in the past.
Yeah.
I'd like, Nick, could you speak to these people for us?
Yep. Grab a microphone from somebody. Yeah.
Let us know what your plans are.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to meet you all. I was not aware of many of these issues, so this is the first I've heard of them. So I'll deal with some of them. The rock wall that we're talking about is a border between myself, Jay, and the family. There's just this tiniest sliver of my land on this side of that rock wall. Then you have the road. My understanding is that the mailbox is on this side of that rock wall, and so therefore would be on my property. I've looked at I paid $40,000 for engineering to know where those boundaries are. So if I'm incorrect in reading my boundaries that I just paid $40,000 to have drawn, then I absolutely will move that. So I don't want to have a problem there. The rock wall damage was done by the logger. I saw it the day it happened and talked to Jay about it immediately. 2 rocks rolled over the rock wall onto his property. And so I told him, 2 rocks have gone onto your property. I'll be able to pick those up with my backhoe and move those back for you. I apologized for that. I have never done work on the cul-de-sac. However, I have left a trailer loaded with stuff when we had rain and I couldn't get it onto the property right away, onto my property. So I certainly can be more cognizant of that so that that doesn't happen in the future. That's happened a number of times where I've left a vehicle there for 3 days or so till the land firmed up a little bit more, and then I was able to get it on the property. But if I know that that's a issue that is irritating my neighbors, I absolutely will not do that in the future. The logging so what was supposed to happen this year was I was supposed to get up one of the, like if you drive down 45 and you look on the right at the Temple Beef, they call it a temporary structure, 40 by 80 feet. And the vehicles that I have would be inside that container. Unfortunately, the logger I arranged to do the work originally, I'm not going to say his name in a public setting, but he ended up in prison. And so I got delayed quite a long time before I could contact Foley, get him coming in, doing the work. That garage was supposed to be up before snow fell, but I got delayed about a month because of the logger. I didn't, he was recommended to me by someone locally in town, so I just didn't know the history. Learned that later. So now it's probably going to be April, maybe May, before that big building can go up. It's well off. It's probably, I've got 14 acres. It's probably 3 acres off of the road, far into the property. I've had 3 acres cleared by Foley and 1 more acre cleared to create a path to the road. So 4 acres in total, but the area that's been cleared where eventually the house will go and the garage will go is 3 acres in the middle of the property. So it will not be able to be seen by either Hill Road or Hudson Road. The building that I'm putting up, I'm lining under, so it's 40 feet by 80 feet, and I'm putting an EPDM liner under it so that if there was ever some kind of a spill, it would be contained. These liners are used for roofs, rubber roofing. It's the same material. It's also the same material used for ponds. It's also the same material used underneath garbage dumps. It's impenetrable. So if there was some kind of a spill, it would be contained and I would be able to take care of it before it created a problem. The property as a whole will be a farm. It's been registered as a farm with the state of New Hampshire. I don't want any oil on that property. I understand about oil. I understand the damage it can do to a watershed. I just want to address some of the issues. Work has been done in that driveway. I have a neighbor who has a restraining order, I believe, on a husband, so he's not with her. I've done oil changes on her car in that driveway. I've done oil changes on my car in that driveway. No other vehicles. However, now that I understand that it's a concern from my neighbors, I will not do that type of work in that driveway. I have a relationship with Luke Peterson. I can work in his garage any weekend I want. He has no problem with that. I've helped him out a lot over the time that I've known him. So I have a garage available. I don't need to do the work in that driveway. I did it simply because it was easy. But if I know it's an irritant to my neighbors, absolutely, I will not do that. I want to be a good neighbor. And now that I know about these concerns, I'm going to address them. I don't want to be a problem here. I want to live here till I die, and I want to have good relations with everybody. So, I'm sorry that you feel this is a junkyard, but I absolutely understand it because I don't have these vehicles inside where they should be. And, if you want to do the whole lawyer thing, absolutely. But I already own the building. I already own the material. I just ran out of time because of the logger problem. Otherwise, it would be up now, and these vehicles would be in that building now. So, I want to do what's right. I want to have good relations with my neighbors. And I want to be in this town and not be thought of as a guy that's got a junkyard. I mean, that makes my stomach turn.
Nick, the person,
I'm Jeff. I live in Hudson Road, up a couple doors down. My questions are like, what is the long-term goal of this place? Are you going to sell auto parts? Are you refurbishing these cars? Is there going to be traffic up and down Hudson Road? What is the goal of this business, please?
So when I originally came to town and talked about it, I asked about putting a garage for working out of a garage attached to my house. And I got all of the information on zoning and what's required for that. So I have signatures from neighbors that are within 500 feet of that garage location already. I did get those signatures. So that when I get to that stage, I will have a garage that I work in. That garage will be state of the art. It'll be a solid thing. No, I would be able to do commercial work out of that garage. However, there will be no traffic on Hudson. It's costing me $25,000 to have a bridge put up on Hill. I don't want traffic coming down that. Well, the sign is limited to 2 feet by 4 feet, I think, by zoning ordinance. So it'll be a very, very small sign because that's how Temple does things when it comes to that. But this is
So you'll close access from Hudson Road?
correct.
It will be shut down?
In fact, correct. In fact, right now, I'm driving over with permission over my niece's property to get onto my property. That's a logging culvert for with the town agent's permission. We put that culvert in so the loggers could get in and out there because you can't get onto Hill. As soon as the bridge is done on Hill, which will be done next summer, the driveway for the property that we're all talking about comes off of Hill, a paved road instead of a dirt road. The type of work that I do, I used to own horseless carriage in Milford. So the type of work that I specialize in is restoration work of old vehicles.
So you'll be reselling vehicles from there as well?
I don't expect to be selling vehicles from there. No, that's just an area for restoration work. So I'll be doing restoration work on older vehicles, mostly trucks is what I specialize in. So I do all of the metal work, some mechanical work, but mostly the type of work I do is welding and metal work, frame work, body work, that, the metal part of the body work. I do. Well, no, right now he's working for the farm. So I pay him off of the farm payroll because, yeah, it's Hooting Owl Farm. It's registered with the state of New Hampshire.
So I honestly, I feel like if you want to kind of, like honesty it doesn't seem to be out in the open here. You're saying that you don't do much of anything on it, but you're saying you have an employee, but you don't have a business. So this is where a lot of the confusion is coming from as well. It's a junkyard, but it's not a junkyard, and you're going to get a 40 by 80. You're going to stuff all the vehicles in the 40 by 80 building? Okay, and you're going to work out of that building, or you're going to transport the vehicles back and forth to your state-of-the-art garage? Or it's just very, so, and also I want to address, you said there were 2 rocks that kind of spilled over. No, there's roots, the whole side of the wall. I thought we looked at it together. The roots are up from all the damage on the rock wall. Unfortunately, it's covered with snow right now, so we can't, see, I can't show you, but you can still see the roots coming through the snow where I don't know what was dug up or what he hit when he either backed up into it, it trudged up the roots. So there's a lot more than 2 rocks that just kind of went over the rock wall.
So the roots that are moved were rhododendrons that were on my property. When you did that, rock wall is the property line, but I'm happy to pull those down if they're on the rock wall. I'm happy to do that. What they did was,
the rock wall is now not there, and there's roots there. So where were the rhododendrons? Like, there's the rock wall, and then there's a little patch of dirt.
yes, in order to get out of across the culvert on the land. So they went across the street with where my property is across the street on this side of the rock wall and moved some of that dirt so their trucks could get out and make the corner. So that was their goal. In my opinion, they overdid it. which is why I talked to your husband about it. I said, I'm not happy with that, and that I would take care of it. So what's the rock wall is the border between you and me. And some of those rocks are on the rock wall. Some of those rocks are over on your property. So I'm happy to take care of it. We can walk out there together. I've got the backhoe. I'm happy to take care of it.
Yes.
There was also some concern about all the trees that were being cut. But I have to remind your neighbors that you can cut every tree off your land if you want to. They can't stop you from, if you want to clear cut that whole place, you can.
So, but I can put people to rest to some degree. What I'm trying to do is have a 30-foot buffer of trees that is going to be a farm. So eventually we are going to clear a lot of trees. So, but I'm trying to leave a 30-foot buffer between the road and even I can't think, what's Emma's last name? White. Emma White is a neighbor there. So, I've walked the property line with them as well. So we're trying to make just a 30-foot buffer of trees along the whole border so that all of my neighbors, including on Manson Road, Dennis, I can't think of his name, Dennis Sheldon and his wife, June. Even between them, we've walked the land as well. So that we would, and then along hill, that's going to be 200 feet of trees along hill. So we're trying to make it so that we've had as little impact as possible. The problem that turned it in so that there's a major impact that everybody's upset about is I didn't realize my partner was going to sell horseless carriage. And it's taken me a year and a half to get moved out of horseless carriage. And that's why you see these vehicles and, it's like a nightmare for me as well. I get it, and I certainly, listen, I have no secrets. Anybody wants to talk to me and ask me a question, I got nothing to hide. I will tell you anything you want to know. It's just how I live. I grew up in a family where there were horrible secrets. And after lots of therapy, I learned I don't ever want to have a secret again. So I'm not hiding what I want to do with the property. I've met with the town. I talked to the town before I bought the land about would I be able to do a garage? What requirements are there? How does the town feel about this? The decision was made to subdivide that property so that the property where my garage is going to be, the state-of-the-art garage I'm going to work in is going to be 100 feet between that garage and the building that we're housing the vehicles in. They're going to be very close together, right in the middle of the property. I want to make I want my best case scenario is when you drive through this town, as we develop the town, that we retain the woods and the fields and the farm feel of it. And I've been at meetings here talking about development and how the town's going to be developed. And that's always what I talk about. Please, can we make it so that the developers have to do it further back? And when we drive through the town, we still see the woods, we still see the fields. So I want to do that with my property too. I want to make it so I have as little impact as possible.
Okay, sorry, Nick. First of all, we don't want an issue. We want you to be here and be a good neighbor. But I have a couple of questions or corrections. Please correct me if I'm wrong. You said you don't work on the cul-de-sac. So the trailer that was there with the minibus with the wheels off and the brakes that you were working on or replacing, you weren't working on that there, right? Yeah. There was a flatbed with a minibus, and you were either changing the tires or doing a brake job on it. Look, it might have only been once, but you did work on it.
I just can't remember doing.
Yeah. Well, now the only other question,
I can take it off.
maybe the GIS map that's new, is that accurate?
Most.
And the only reason why I just happened to bring it it does not show any of your land on that side of the road. Just for whatever it's worth, okay? Maybe it's wrong.
Sorry.
Okay, maybe it's wrong. I'm just saying.
It's okay. It's recorded at the county.
Got it.
So it's
It shows a
the map.
point.
They've had like 5 copies here at the town as well.
I'm
and it's
just
recorded-
giving the GSI.
It's recorded at the county.
Got it.
I
Okay.
mean, and hey, listen, if anybody would like to see it, I've got the map on the wall in my sister's house where I'm staying right now. So like I say, I've got no secrets. I'll invite you in. You can look at the map. In fact, I can give a copy of the plan. I've paid for so many of them. It's ridiculous. I'll be happy to give a copy of the plan to you guys and you can pass it around. I mean, and then you'll know exactly what the borders are. And
Okay, look, it's not a planning board meeting. It's not a zoning board meeting. It's a select board meeting. So can we try to keep it to what the select board can address? Go ahead. Well, go ahead anyway.
So your property that you have right now, how many acres is that?
so the property for the farm is
Yeah.
13.22, something, 13.227, it's right in that area.
So what portion of that is farm?
That will be farm. So eventually I'll have a house that I'm living in with my attached garage. And so they'll probably carve off 2 acres because they do that with a residence. So legally, the remainder of that would be the farm.
And what is farmed on there?
Right now, what we're doing is mushrooms is the only thing we're doing.
Mushroom. And then your niece's property is next to you?
So I bought 17 acres. I subdivided 3 acres off. We have a relative, I should probably speak of this. We have a relative that has Alzheimer's. So that's my sister's house next door. And then eventually my niece will be right beside her to be, that's me. I'm in Jeremy's right now, but that's my sister's house. I'm in it right now because I'm trying to fix it so that someone with Alzheimer's who's in a wheelchair would be able to get into the bathroom and get out of a bedroom and be able to move around that house. So we're doing some very small adjustments to that house so that it's capable.
So he lots then.
Yes, to keep things simple, we'll just say yes. My niece owns her own lot, 3 acres. My sister owns her own place, Jeremy's old place. I'm fixing Jeremy's place so it will be able to take care of and house someone with Alzheimer's who's in a wheelchair. My sister and her husband will move in there once I've got it so that the bathroom is big enough for a wheelchair to get around. My niece will end up living next to her mother so that she'll be able to take care of her mother as her mother ages. I'm younger than my sister, and I will be beside them. And so that as I age, we've got younger people that are relatives. So basically 3 families are going to be on 3 separate lots all together right in that area. So that as we age, we have younger family members to take care of us. That's the plan.
And what's the timeline, please?
Well, I'm way behind on the timeline because of my partner selling horseless carriage. I'd expected to be working there till I was done. So because he sold that, I got delayed 2 years because I had to get all of the arrangements taken care of down there. Tools had to be sold, moved, vehicles had to be sold, moved. It was a nightmare. So I was hoping to be living in my house by now. The bridge should have been done at the beginning of last year. Now, I'm hoping to have the bridge done in the middle of summer. The building is going up before I have the bridge because I'm concerned about my neighbors and having vehicles that aren't under shelter. So right now, the schedule is get the building up first, get the vehicles inside the building. Then the bridge gets built. Once the bridge is built, cement trucks would be able to get up onto the property. The house is going to be 400 feet off of Hill Road. So I can't pump cement up. I have to have cement trucks drive up. So that's a very expensive bridge over that small trench that goes down the side of Hill Road. So I'll be lucky if I finish my house for next winter, but I want that garage up as soon as possible so I can get the vehicles inside.
Once that's done, goes off and Hudson Road.
Correct. Exactly.
Please.
Well, I don't know if they'll plant trees. It's not my property. it's it's my sister's property, but that's up to her. But I will certainly, the logging, what do they call that? The logging bridge that they put in, that has to be taken up. That cannot stay there.
Okay, this has gone way away from what the select board can do here. I would suggest, I mean, this is good discussion. If you want to move to our meeting room in the back, feel free as a group. But let me go over what the town can do and what we will probably expect. You know, we've been through before hearing lots of great promises about things that are going to get done that never happen or drag out forever. So I would suspect what is going to happen is you're going to get a letter from legal. We will probably want you to agree to some timeline to have it fixed. And if that isn't adhered to, you're probably going to end up in court. I mean, that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it works. Right now, from some of the other stuff, if you're going to run a business, I don't know if you're going to qualify under home business. You might have to go to the zoning board, but I mean, that's an established process. Okay. Planning board and zoning board. Okay. The junkyard bit, it's not just the town. The state has some pretty strict laws about it. So you could end up getting in trouble with the state too. So that's something that's got to get worked out. And it can't drag on forever.
There's only 3 vehicles that cannot be driven. If I have
Okay.
to register all of them, I'll register all of them. I'll do it. It's like, look, I want to do the right thing for the community. I want to do the right thing for my neighbors. Whatever I have to do to be okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
My feeling is the sooner I get that big garage up and get them inside, this problem goes away.
Once they're inside, then the town can't argue about it. You cannot store your property on town property.
Correct.
That is an absolute, and
Yeah.
just don't do it. Okay. And that's pretty much the extent of what the town can do at this point. And hopefully we won't have to do any more than this.
Just say, I'm to meet with any neighbors. If you want to do it at someone else's house, fine. At my house, fine. I don't care. If there's a concern, I am happy to deal with it, address it. I don't, I really want to have a good relationship with my neighbors. I feel sick about this. So,
Okay.
I don't want to be that
Fine.
guy.
Yep.
I don't want to be that guy.
So just follow through on what you're saying. Okay. Is there anything else on this, or can we wrap this up? Thank you. We're wrapping this up. And it really, again, if you want to use the back room, go ahead. Or if you want to schedule something else, that's fine. We will keep you informed as what's going on with the legal and what kind of agreements get made. No, we just have to sign it. Yes, you cannot do this cutting without an intent to cut. That's state law. So,
Like 2-3 weeks ago, but I looked over the form, like, I can't fill this thing out. The logger has to fill this thing out. So I just put it in both hands and said,
okay.
"Take care."
Well, we've got it now. Yeah, you can be fined by the state for not doing it. Okay. Moving on. We're not going to cover any old business because there's not much to cover. We do need, this is important. So the money that was allocated at town meeting for redoing the tennis courts isn't going to get spent this year, but it's going to get spent next year. So we need to vote to encumber it. So I will make a motion that we encumber $24,000 that was allocated this year, encumber it for use next year under warrant article 14. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. We've encumbered it. Jeez. Good luck. Good luck. Okay, town fuel. So this came from a BAC discussion with Ken and me. Some of our fuel and propane and heating oil. Oh, what are you looking for? Okay. Is coming from what used to be Rhymes, it's now Superior, and their prices are the highest in the state as far as we can tell. Yeah. And so Ken did some research, and it would be, we can pay, they won't sell us their tank. We're going to have to rip their tank out, buy a new tank. Even if we do that, we will pay back that cost in less than a year by switching to a different fuel provider. Ken has gotten some quotes. We've got a really good one. It's the same company that does the church, and they've been very happy with him. They will provide everything: fuel, oil, propane, diesel, the whole bit. So Ken would like us to vote to approve moving to this so I can take it to the BAC tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yeah, they're going to 1,000-gallon tank. Yeah. Yes, it's going to be a one-stop shop. And yeah, and we're going to save thousands of dollars doing this. So I move that we accept the proposal to move from the current town fuel provider to the new vendor, whose name I can't remember. Okay. And I'll bring this to the BAC tomorrow. Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. What else? Yeah, that was exciting. We need to sign the trustees of the trust fund letter. Okay. Done. Okay, we have to schedule our next meeting. Our next meeting would be December 23rd, and I don't think anybody wants to be here then. So we should reschedule that meeting, I think. Yeah. Yeah, see, how's that going to work? 25th. Yeah, so I don't have my calendar. Is there a date towards the end of after Christmas? We ought to be able to fit one in that following week. Okay, well, we can schedule by email. That's allowed. I'm not here the entire Christmas week, so it can't be that week, but it wouldn't be anyway. So probably the week after Christmas sometime. Yeah. Well, I won't be back until what day is the 26th? I'll be back Saturday, Monday. I'll be back the Monday, 26th or 7th, 28th. So 29th onward, I'm around. It's only 3 days. Right. So we could do it the Tuesday, which is 1 week. Yeah, that's a planning board meeting, but I don't know if they're actually meeting. I can manage, George, to miss it. Yes. For the select board meeting, I think I can manage. Yeah, so even if it is a planning board meeting night, we'll meet anyway. So what day is that too? No, I'm not here Monday. Oh, wait a minute. Will I be back Monday? I am back Monday. Okay. Yeah, I'm back that Monday, so we can do that. Okay. The only thing we have left is to approve the minutes unless there's something anybody else has. Yeah, I have no problems either. I move we accept the minutes as written. All in favor? Aye. Anything else? Yeah, that was the date. Yeah. Well, we usually jump ahead to other business. All right, if we have nothing else, second, all in favor? Aye. We're done. Good night, everyone. I can't even find the stop button because the Christmas tree is in the way. Geez, where's the end meeting? It's over here somewhere. There we go.